Greetings. Let me turn some stuff on. It might be a little noisy because all the babies home. A little noisy. Greetings, greetings, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Hi. Greetings. Let y'all chime in. Peace, beloved. I think your name is Keetra. Chunky. Peace, beloved. Hey, Arts. Some of y'all I don't know. I'm sorry. Amazing. Peace, beloved. Ashe, ashe. I wanted to get on here and talk about early, because I'm about to lay back down a little bit. But talk about the whole energy of detachment and the importance of detachment. I talk about detachment on the page a lot. I'm better. I talk about detachment a lot. And the importance of you learning how to be detached, specifically in dynamics and situations. Peace, madam. And I always have people question, like, well, how do you do that? How do you be detached? Or how do you not engage in certain dynamics? I didn't even see it. I don't be looking at people's pages. I be trying to stay off social media. And it's not hard. It seems hard because we are definitely very conditioned to respond. We are a very responsive community, reactive community, society altogether. But you have to learn so many different levels to this. So first I want to talk about the fact that detachment doesn't mean that you're cold-hearted. Detachment doesn't mean that you just operate in a space of, but for lack of better words, I don't give a F. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's not what detachment is. And sometimes, I've had plenty of conversations where people be like, well, damn, am I supposed to be, mean or cold-hearted or have a certain energy? That's not what detachment means. Detachment means that you are not allowing your emotions to get caught up in whatever this decision is, whatever this situation is. You want to make sure that when you are responding or engaging or doing whatever it is, making a choice or a decision, that is coming from logic. It's coming from a black and white space and not all the way from an emotional space. Because sometimes when you make decisions out of emotion, even temporary emotions, it will have you in a jacked up situation. So it's like the old quote that says, don't make a permanent choice out of temporary emotions. Just because you pissed at this moment in time, that don't mean you just pop off and make a choice that can change the trajectory of what's going on to a permanent standpoint. That's why a lot of relationships end, because a lot of times we making more of our emotions from that emotional space. Now we might be arguing about this 2-second thing that just happened, but instead of us making this choice and this decision out of what is in the now, we will be making it off of, if you've been with that person for a year, 5 years, 20 years, it'll be all the stuff that has happened up until that point that'll make you pop off and be like, you know what? Now you're getting a divorce. Now you're breaking up. Instead of tackling it and being present in the now. So detachment is knowing that, one, I'm being emotional right now. It's the identification of, is this an emotional response? Am I engaging emotionally? Okay. You want to really be aware of that. And then be aware of, why am I so attached to this dynamic? So if something's triggering you, and I say, why are you so attached? Why are you wanting to engage? You need to sit still and say, okay, why am I wanting to engage? Why is this triggering me? Because it's deeper than whatever the situation is. It's deeper than whatever it is that you're going through at that moment. So you have to really come back and say, okay, what is this? I'm ready to really like make you lose your job at this restaurant. I'm really ready to, destroy a whole 10-year relationship with this person because of this. So what is the deeper meaning? What is at the root of this? And a lot of times we don't. And I think that's the biggest thing that I see. A lot of times people are not taking enough time to say, let me step back. Before I just go, I'm just moving. I'm not thinking. I'm not processing. I'm not digesting nothing. I'm just moving. And you got to be still long enough for you to digest what is the situation. You got to be still long enough, just long enough, for you to really evaluate what's going on. And take note of your own emotions. I can make y'all laugh. Like I was laughing this morning because I said I was about to flunk my own test that I had out for y'all because my son started riding a bus this week. The later I get into this whole cultivating process, I've been trying to make sure my life is set up a little more convenient. And so my baby boy started riding the bus this week. And the bus driver had a very funky attitude from day one. So yesterday she came way earlier than her normal time. I was pissed because I'm saying her like, you inconveniencing me and my family because you being extra. But okay, let it go. Today she saw him walking towards the bus. She closed the doors and pulled off. I know she saw him. So I was like, immediately triggered, because the one thing that you could do to trigger me is mess with my children or my money. Them two dynamics right there. I'm getting ready to pop off. So I followed her to the next stop, made sure my son got on the bus. The old me, the old self, was ready to get on the bus and cuss her all the way out. The more evolved self said, no, we're not going to handle this situation like this. We're going to go to the school, file our complaint. I went to the school, filed my complaint, but I did let them know. I gave them my warning shot. I was like, look, I don't know if anybody else be having a problem with this, but I'm probably not the one. And this will be the last time. This is my last time saying anything about this. I filed a complaint with transportation. And it took a minute. I knew in that moment of me dropping him off at the bus stop that I needed to back up. I knew I was too mad. I realized I was like, you too mad to address this situation. So don't do it. Don't address it right now. Don't address it right now, because if you do, it's going to go left. And then somebody going to have to come get y'all. Going to have to put some bail money together and make sure I get out of jail. That's what was about to happen. And I don't think they want to see a big pregnant woman in jail right now. But that's what was about to happen. But that's the type of mentality or tools that I feel like people need to start exercising, because you do have to get in a space and say, hold on, let me step back. Before I give you all of this throat chakra, let me step back, identify what's really going on, be compassionate. And it was taking a whole lot for me to be compassionate for her, because I was really looking at her like, if you don't like your job, you don't need to be driving this bus. But I let that go. Be compassionate. You might be having a bad week. My mate had to remind me of that. She might be having a bad week. You right, but I don't give up. When you messing with my babies, I'll be like, I don't care. But I was like, you're right. She might be. So I'm going to just file my complaints. Everywhere they allow me, I say, I'm the one that got plenty of time during the day. Plenty. I got plenty of time. I got plenty of time to be writing the Department of Transportation. I got plenty of time. I got plenty of time to go on all y'all websites and do all this stuff. But it's still that energy of, it don't require you to go into the whirlwind. It don't require you to go through the tornado. And you have to identify, why am I attaching myself to this energy? Is it even worth me being this upset about? Is it even worth me engaging in? Okay? From the manner that I'm going to disrupt my whole day, or I'm going to disrupt the energy that I set myself in, especially in the mornings. Okay? Be really in a space that you really take the time to say, that person at your job is getting on your nerves. Why they getting on your nerves? Probably because you ain't supposed to be there. You know you ain't supposed to be at that job. That's why they getting on your nerves. That's the universe telling you it's time to make your exit plan. You know, if it's family members that you just don't get along with, why? Identify. It don't require for you to be attached and pulled in so emotional. It doesn't require for you to be so emotionally pulled in to the point that you are doing all of this extra stuff that it's really upsetting you and everybody else around you. Because then y'all get to telling everybody else what this person done did, and now not only you upset, everybody else around you upset. Okay? So be in a space where you really just use logic. This is when you have to use logic. You have to step back and say, let me write this out and really understand, why am I upset? Okay? Why am I getting pulled into this drama? Why do I feel like I have to get the last word? I don't know if y'all had that problem. I'm going to put my hand up. I had that problem for a long time. You're not going to get the last word on me. I'm a Leo too. You're not going to get that last word. I'm going to overtalk you and get the last word. So what is it that's making you feel like you're not heard? What is it that's making you feel like you have to be validated in whatever this conversation is? What is it about the situation that is making you feel like you got to go the extra 10 miles with it? Identify. Understand. And then what I think the biggest key, and especially for me, I know the biggest key is I refuse to allow you to disrupt my peace. Peace, everyone that just came in. I'm sorry. I refuse to allow you to disrupt my peace. Okay? I done meditated. I done did my Tai Chi. I've been drinking my water. Y'all know my line. I'm eating whole foods. You know, I'm eating high vibrational stuff. And you sitting here trying to disturb my peace. And that's really what you have to look at. People who trigger you. People who are pulling you into that sense of, I feel the need to be validated. I feel the need to engage. I feel the need to respond. Why? How is that making you a better person? You have to really go down your list of questions. Like, you should always ask yourself, like, is this coming from my higher self or my lower self? Is this coming from a space of self-love? Is this coming from someone who has evolved spiritually, mentally, emotionally? Is this coming from the person that I strive to be, even if you ain't there yet? Is this coming from this response, this reaction, this engagement, coming from a place of higher self? If you cannot, if you promise you, if that answer is no, don't do it. Be more so they just want attention and to break your peace. They don't. It ain't even that. It ain't even that, beloved. That ain't even their main objective. We have to get into a space that it's not even them against us. It's them in their own war. And you have to have enough wisdom and knowledge and understanding to say, I'm not at war with myself. I'm not at war with myself. I'm not in jihad. You still over there in purgatory. You still stuck. So I'm going to let you stay over there and be stuck. I'm not in that energy. So it don't require me to act like I am. Peace, beloved. It don't require me. And that's some hard shit to do. It's hard. Listen, it's hard. Because a lot of times we feel like, why me? Or this person doing this to get up under my skin. No, they doing it because they are miserable. They're doing it because they're going through their own stuff. They're doing it it ain't even about you. They doing it because their own universe is in turmoil. So because their own universe, they're a tornado. And you have to recognize these tornadoes when they come. They're a tornado. So when you see the tornado, what you supposed to do? You supposed to take cover. I ain't going out there to play with you. You crazy. Not going out there. And that's not a fear response. That's I'm protecting my peace. I'm protecting this. I'm protecting my altar. I'm protecting my temple. Okay? I'm protecting who I am. And in order for me to protect this, I have to make the right choices and I have to do the right thing. And doing the right thing is not always the easiest thing to do sometimes. Why? Because we attached. The only reason, like every time I hear somebody be like, that's hard. No, it's not. It's just because you attached. It's not hard for me to walk away from an argument. It's not hard for me to walk away from somebody who's being toxic to me. Peace, everyone. It's not hard for me to do certain dynamics. It's not hard for me to operate in my higher self. Okay? It's not hard. What makes it hard is because I'm still attached. I'm attached to this identity. From the outside, I'm attached to an identity. I'm attached to, I ain't gonna let you, I'm attached to a certain dynamic that will make me react, respond, or engage in ways that are not serving my higher self. So what makes it even harder is the fact that we've been conditioned to respond. That's been one of the biggest things. We've been conditioned to respond. And be like, it ain't even worth my time. That ego, exactly. Ego will have you in some jacked up situation. Ego was about to have my ass in jail today. Ego, and I knew the whole time, I was like, this ain't nothing but ego. I refuse to let her get the best of me. She gonna learn today. I'm gonna take her for all the babies that's running to the bus today. All the babies. And all them babies out there running to the bus because she crazy. Okay? So ego is a space that you really have to learn to identify what is creating that ego self, what is creating that that identity complex. Okay? What is creating that I'm so attached to? I'm so attached to that to the point where somebody might not even be thinking. And I'm not saying I was about to use a racism perspective. And it's not to say that person might not be whatever that element is. It's just to say that they have their own issues. They got their own shit. And you just happen to be standing in the way of the storm. Okay? They got their own stuff. And you just happen to be standing in the way. So, you have to decide out of your own self-preservation. Am I going to move out of the storm? Or am I going to stay in here and get hit? People with common sense going to say, I'm going to move my ass. If I see the tornado, I don't know about y'all. If I see the tornado coming, I'm taking cover. I don't need, this ain't my time. No, I'm not going to be a storm chaser. I'm not the one that's going to be out there trying to play. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm in self-preservation. What's best for me? I got a lot that depend on me. So I don't have time to be engaging in things that are not pushing me to my higher self. Okay. So detachment, that's just one of y'all key things you want to really work on. And not thinking that means if you're in a relationship, don't think that mean that, oh, I'm not supposed to talk to that person. Okay. On a regular, or just check. Common sense say, or common, not even common sense, I don't even want to use that word. Common courtesy. I'm going to call and check on you. I'm going to text you. I'm going to do whatever, but I also know how to take my personal time and my personal space when I need my personal time and my personal space. I hear it mostly with relationships. That's why I'm speaking on that the most, even within my relationships, because I'm a very detached individual. I'm a very detached individual, and I will go a certain time and not talk to people or not do certain things. But at the same time, I also shoot out flares. You good? Okay. Exactly. Personal emotional boundaries. I'm big on setting those boundaries and operating in them. If I feel like I'm being drained or I need time to really just pour life into myself, I cut off the rest of the world. I'm going to pour life into myself. I don't care what your name is. You have to understand what that looks like for you. And being able to operate in that as well. Shonda said, detachment doesn't mean you own nothing. Exactly. Detachment means nothing owns you. Exactly. I love them. And it's really about that. It's not being owned. It's not feeling the need, like I said, for validation. A lot of times we take on all these titles, and that creates this list of what we think is our responsibility, what we think we're supposed to be connected to. And it's like, no, that don't mean that you have to operate. You have to have enough sense to say, okay, no, that ain't, that's, you're stepping into my private bubble now. You got to have enough sense to say, this is going directly against what I need as a person first. And a lot of times we don't put ourselves first either. Nah, they don't like it. Child, they don't like it. Brooklyn, you say you are only child. I'm an only child too, but I think because of all my kids, I had to learn not to have boundaries sometimes. That's what I thought. I thought that they were allowed to overstep my boundaries. And now I've learned at this age, that's why I was like, the boys, I feel sorry for them. At this age, I realized, no, mama got boundaries. If you overstep them, you're going to have to pay the consequence. So they know. They're starting to learn really quickly, like, no, that's mama's time. Okay. When it's our time, she'll make sure that we good. So, yeah, being in a space that you really identify, what are my boundaries? What are my terms and conditions? Okay. What does this look like for me? You create the life that you want. So if you create the life that you want, a really big key of that is knowing for real, what is detachment for you? Okay? What is detachment for you? What does that really mean? I wanted to look, I want to say one of these, it might have been in the new set of cards, actually talk about detachment. Let me see if I can find it. I think, and it's hard, I think, when you're in the midst of survival mode, when you're in the midst of go mode, for you to be still. But that's why another thing that I feel like is so important is practicing stillness. Because when we in go mode, that's why you end up in the situations that you in. When you in go mode, sometimes you don't take the time to like say, let me digest this. Let me actually go through the process that I need to go through so I can make sure I'm responding and engaging appropriately. And then you end up in these situations where you're like, how I get here? How I end up in jail? How I end up fighting? It was a really key word that they said in this though that I wanted to share with y'all. Okay. On this particular card, it was talking about detachment, and the main thing it says, when loss is an investment in peace, defeat is illusionary. Okay, when loss is an investment in peace, that means if it's gonna make me lose my peace, it's not worth it. Okay. You said for you, detachment is not letting emotion own me. Absolutely. I've only just started seeing. Yes. And then the other part, it says the actual divination meaning for this particular card. It says, stop obsessing. I pulled this card today. That's why I wanted to talk about it. It says, stop obsessing and completely let go of any emotional attachments related to the matter or the question. Sometimes we get in that space and we obsessed over the situation. You obsessed over why? Why are you obsessing over? Let go. That's like you wanting this relationship so bad and y'all burning 100 candles. Ooh, y'all burning 100 candles trying to bring this person into your life or make this person do right, instead of just stating what you need to the universe and let go. Quit obsessing over it. The more you put energy into what you don't want, that's exactly what you're going to get. Which is another reason why you got to be in a space of detachment. Because when you are attached to certain dynamics, it make you respond a certain way. It make you engage a certain way. Because you overly obsessing. You too emotionally connected. When you're not emotionally connected, you could just do your decision. But this does not mean that you just go and you just be reckless. Because the whole meaning of detachment is so you can operate from the higher self. This don't mean, oh, I done seen a few of y'all that be on that, I can have sex with you, but I don't have to be attached to you. That's not detachment. Because you are attached. You're still attached. You might not be attached to the physical person, but you are attached to the act. You're attached to the gratification that this particular experience is giving you. Okay? So you got to go back within yourself and say, why am I even attached to this? And why am I even putting the energy into that I would put myself in this particular dynamic with someone that I know is not worthy of me? You shouldn't even be touching this altar. And I'm sorry, I'm big on that, especially now. Shoot, I always been big on that, but you are not even worthy of the altar. You're not even worthy to sit at my altar. You not even worthy. You ain't bring no damn offerings. You ain't bring no offerings. You ain't bring no pretty plate to put on my damn altar. Exactly, be more. And I hear it from both men and women. It's like, oh, I can still have this physical relationship with these people and then not be attached to you. Okay, I hear you. That's still stemming from something. There's still something at the root of that. Because why would you even engage? Why would you even engage with someone that you don't even, number one, want to be attached to, per se? You don't even want to have that attachment to. I'm guilty too, be more. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna talk about it. Why would you even engage in the act? Okay. Why would you even engage in the act? If they're not worthy to sit at your altar, why even engage in the act? Because now you're putting something, you're not valuing your altar. You're valuing your physical altar that's outside of you. Y'all will put more pride into that altar you done built for Oshun. Put more pride into that altar that you done built for Papa Legba. You'll put more pride into that than you put into yourself. That don't make sense to me. You walking around talking about you a whole live goddess. You walking around talking about you this and that, knowing how important that our purity, and I ain't talking about no society, Caucasian, whatever y'all want to claim it, your purity. This temple is pure. This temple has a certain energy. And as soon as I allow somebody who is questionable to enter this temple, to sit their feet at my altar, because I'm in my feelings, I'm attached to something. What we attached to, we got to deal with it. We got to deal with that. We got to really identify, what is that? What is the need? Why am I attached to it? Why am I putting myself in that predicament? And it's hard to, that's a hard journey too. Y'all know how I talk about, shoot, I don't talk about it as much, but I'm a firm believer in sex, magic, and all of that. I am. I love the energy behind the connection, sacred sex. But I do believe you have to make sure that you are engage with things that are worthy of your energy. Because not only are you allowing someone else's energy into you, you're giving somebody a piece of your energy. You giving somebody a piece of your energy. Exactly. It's like sharing cooties. Ew. I don't even want to drink. I don't even want to drink after you if I know you got something going on. You have a simple ass cold. So why would y'all even, open yourself up to that type of destruction? Because that's self-sabotaging. That's a self-sabotage mode. I'm just saying. I'm going to put it out there. Because I know we in the age of sexual liberation. And one aspect of it, I feel like, is a really good thing. One aspect of sexual liberation, especially for women, because it's creating a platform for women to be able to talk and actually identify like, hey, bruh, that shit was whack. I'm going to need you to do this, this, and this, or I need it just as much as you need it. Okay. So on one aspect, I do feel like it gave women a voice. Okay. I do feel like it gave us more freedom to express ourselves in that, dynamic and not feel shame. But in the other aspect, I feel like It gave people a pass to be thoughts. It gave people a pass to be hoes. It gave people a pass to say, oh, I'm sexually liberated. But you giving yourself to a whole lot of different dynamics and not understanding that that shit is important. You can't, in my opinion don't mean shit, but you cannot straddle this fence. Don't straddle it. Be what you gonna be. Don't straddle the damn fence. Be what you gonna be. You gonna be a thought. Be the best damn thought Tina out here. Damn, make it do what it do. But if you are truly striving to get to a certain sense of awakening, understand all the energy, understand all the dynamics, understand all the aspects that come with that. Because it go back to your commitment and your discipline to yourself. Am I committed to myself? Am I disciplined in the things that are going to be required of me? Because I do feel like this is where people get kind of confused when you leave, per se, religion and go into spirituality. You feel like religion had gave y'all all of these rules and regulations. And but you could mess up. You could do whatever and ask for forgiveness and it's gone. Or do whatever it is. Okay? And then you think that spirituality means that you free spirited. That you free. Yeah, you free, but it's a different sense of what that freedom is. That freedom means free from self. Free from your self-sabotaging ass ways. Okay? It's not in the sense of I can just go out here and do all the things that are going to be detrimental, not only to myself, but to other people that come in my circle and to the society. You really looking like you doing a disservice. You doing a disservice. And most importantly, I don't give a damn, honestly, let me be clear. I don't give a damn about nobody else. Who I do care about is you. How are you being a disservice to yourself? How are you sabotaging yourself? Okay? Really identifying. Okay, what is this? Right, there's universal laws. Yes, there's always consequences. And even with that, I know me and Honey have had this conversation. All my babies that are hard-headed along with me. Sometimes y'all be willing to take the ass whooping that come with violating the laws. You got to get to a point where you say, I'm not even attached to that. I'm not even attached to my rebellious ways. I'm not even attached to the things that will put me in this position to even feel like I'm going to just suffer the consequence. One day you're going to get one of them consequences that you wish you didn't suffer. Like, I shouldn't have damn. I shouldn't have did that. When the universe say, when you know you violating universal laws. Hey, Pumpkin. Hey, Sky. When you know you are violating your universal laws, you got to be in a space where you say, is it worth me getting punished? Is it worth it? Because a lot of times y'all be feeling like, I'd rather just suffer the consequence. No, don't do that. From somebody who has been consistently hard-headed for a long time, don't do that. You create your life can be so much easier. A lot of times y'all be wanting to manifest all these different dynamics in life. Okay? Y'all be wanting to manifest like, oh, I want my money. You know, I need my paper right. I hope I get this. I want to live a certain lifestyle. You can do all of that if you just stay your ass off of the damn. Look, stay your ass out the street. Quit playing in the street. Keep your hands off the stove. Quit feeling like you got to test the boundaries. Back up away from the cliff. Okay? You don't have to test the boundaries. You don't have to go play in the street. You don't have to do all of that. I never like it. I get it now. And my father used to get on me about this all the time when I was younger. He was like, I don't understand why you keep making choices and decisions that you know. Like, I know you know better. Oh. But like, no. Now I get it. Now I'll be like, I ain't trying to touch the stove. You ain't got to tell the universe, my spirit guides, my ancestors, they ain't got to tell me but one time. They ain't got the they ain't even got to get the out. I'm gonna be like, okay. What y'all need me to do? Was you? Okay. I'm gonna sit my ass down. Yeah, right. Honey over here talking about we don't have to be, she be the one of the main ones. Be like, let me see if I can touch it with a stick. Honey be one of the main ones trying to see, what if I just touch it from here? What if I energetically touch it? I ain't physically touch it. I just sent some energy that way. No. The answer still no. I did. I had a very interesting journey, y'all. I had a very interesting journey. You know, I made a lot of choices that, now let's be clear, I didn't have like, I had the life that I was supposed to have. Let me say that. I had the life I was supposed to have. I learned a lot that I probably didn't have to learn. Okay? I learned a whole lot that I didn't have to learn. I went down a lot of different roads that I didn't have to go. But I was real hard-headed. I was very experimental. I was very, well, I just want to see what happened. Well, let me see. Maybe they was trying to give me this message. They be like, well, you know, yo, ass, that ain't the message we was giving you. You know. Okay? So there was a lot of things that my father tried to forewarn me, but I didn't like the way he delivered the message. Peace, beloved. My mother tried to structure out. I have a very supportive, not so artsy family. I'm a very artsy, creative person. So that was an interesting dynamic altogether. But they definitely created the platform and the structure for me to be set up a certain way. And I still was making choices. I still was making choices. Okay? I still was making choices that was making me go left. I still was making choices that was putting me in predicaments that after the fact, I'd be like, I knew I wasn't supposed to do that. I knew I wasn't supposed to do that. Shout out honey talking about she threw a whole pendulum away. But I told you with the pendulum, I was like, the thing with when you using divination tools, especially divination tools like that, they might be like, it might say yes or it might say no. But you have to be specific after that. So like, let's say you ask it about, should you go into a certain dynamic? Okay. Like, let's say, oh, should I, deal with this person? And they might be like, yeah. But it might be telling you, yeah, from there's something you're supposed to teach that person. There's something that you're supposed to do with that person. Your common sense should tell you, okay, what that boundary or that dynamic is. If you're confused, then you need to sit your ass still. I think a lot of times we depend on these divination tools to give us a very clear, precise answer to something that we already know. And then sometimes I feel like the universe just be testing us. Like sometimes I'll be like, they gonna tell you to do something to see. Like, you know that, especially depending on who your ancestors and your spirit guides are. Some of them are real funny. Some of them got jokes. Let's be clear. Some of them got the same personality that you do. You could be sarcastic as hell, and your energy guides and your spirit guides is gonna have some sarcastic as hell. Okay. So sometimes you have to like know how to decipher the message that's coming to you, especially if you're working with something new. Okay. Because sometimes I'm telling you, I told y'all it was a minute. No, you stay safe on 57. Don't you damn be texting and driving. They'll be like, oh, let her ass go down that damn yellow brick road. She know better. Why she even asking us this dumb ass question? That's really how they be. We gonna tell her this. Why she even asking us this dumb ass question? 1, 2, 3. You said it's a real lot to learn and work out. It is and it ain't. Where I'm at now, being completely transparent, if I had, I don't even want, because I know that they sent me the way they sent me for a reason, but if I had to do it all over again, the journey would have been way more simpler. I do feel like, and I say this all the time, the most important part is you learning who you are. What makes you? What triggers you? What are you attached to? What are you having to unlearn? Okay? What do you have to unlearn? Because the most powerful person is the person who know themselves. To me, the most powerful, significant, influential person is the person who knows themselves. When you can stand in your truth and stand in yourself without a shadow of a doubt, it don't matter if you know how to do oracle cards. It don't matter if you know how to do pendulum work. It don't matter if you know how to use these wands. It don't matter if you know how to use crystals. It don't matter if you know all of these different spells, chants, rituals, candle magic, da-da-da-da. It don't. Because when you know yourself and you know who you are, without a doubt, something different. You don't need all of that. You understand that I can speak it and it's going to manifest. I can think it and it will manifest. So you don't need all of that. The most important thing maybe to me that you should learn is, and I'm, I just feel like it helps a lot with you understanding who you are. If you're not as transparent with yourself as you should be, is your natal chart and your human design chart. Your natal chart and your human design chart will tell you a whole lot about who you are as a person. But outside of that, beloved, it don't matter to me. It don't matter. I don't care what my ancestors was practicing. I don't. It makes it where I now, certain stuff, it makes sense why I'm attracted to certain things and certain energies. But if you know yourself, you're going to know that anyway. It's hard when you brought up under strict and control rules. Yes, continue to look for you, baby. Continue to unlearn. Natal charts. Somebody put that in there for me. Natal charts and human design chart. Look up your natal chart and your human design chart. That tells you a lot about why you came in the way you came at the time that you decided to come here. Like the post that I posted earlier was about our soul knew what our mission was and what our learning lesson was before we even got here. before we chose our mothers. Before you chose the portal that you were supposed to come through. That's another reason why I'm probably not as attached. I love my babies. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not attached to their journey. Their journey is their journey. Thank you, Auntie Gigi. Okay. Their journey is their journey. They have a specific mission and a specific thing that they're supposed to do. The only thing I'm supposed to do is help cultivate while they're with me. Give as many jewels as I can. And whatever ones they decide to keep, cool. They don't keep them, cool. It's still their journey. Yes. Awakening is your number one thing. What's the site for human design chart? You can go to, if you type it in Google, there's two that'll come up. There's one that is My Body Graph. That's my favorite one, mybodygraph.com. The other one is Jovian, I believe, .com. July Leo says she's learning to love herself. You don't want to be bothered with some people anymore. That's fine. Just conversations with individuals, and that's fine too. They are draining you. You can identify, if we really are honest with ourselves and stop feeling guilty. Be honest. It's some relationships that you've probably trauma bonded to. Okay? It's some relationships that you done made friends with people when you was in trauma and they was in trauma. Peace, RC. Okay? It's okay. They gonna have to phase out. The more you grow, the more that you evolve, the people gonna have to phase out. And you get to pick and choose. You don't have to entertain and engage with everybody that you come across with. That don't mean be a hermit either. But and then when it's time to be a hermit, it's time to be a hermit. But it does mean honor your truth. I don't fuck with you. I'm gonna honor my truth. If I don't, you'll know. I ain't getting ready to be all extra. That's a hard thing with me too, though, because I'm not a super, I'm gonna call you every day type person anyway. But if I really don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. I ain't getting ready to fake the phone. Nah, I ain't coming to none of your events. Nah, I ain't coming to... That's just how I am. And it took a minute for me to get to that because I used to feel like I was obligated because of the business I was in. When you're a business person, you gotta move a little different. Now, y'all got some businesses that are dealing with a certain environment. Y'all gotta move a little different. Let's be clear. You gotta move a little different. That's when you go back to wearing them disguises. You gotta be able to pull out Oshun when you need to pull out Oshun. You need to be able to pull out that energy that will sweeten somebody up when it's time to pull it out. But I'm not in that space no more. So as I walk this awakening journey, as I become more of a teacher that I'm supposed to be, and a guide. I don't like using the word teacher, but a guide, I guess. The bridge between your journey of ego to self, to your real self. I definitely have gotten more in a space of, I don't have to come if I don't want to. No, I ain't got to pretend like I like you. I ain't even got to have a whole conversation with you about it. For what? I just don't like you. My energy say there's something wrong with your spirit. We good. I need you to go get that together. So, and it's okay. Hermit season. The thing about hermit season and hermit mode, y'all got to make sure that you are really taking advantage of it. Hermit mode don't mean that you're just not dealing with people. It means that you should be studying, researching, fine-tuning, sharpening who you are. Okay? When you're in hermit mode, you should be honing in on your craft. You should be fine-tuning who you are, studying, really getting sharp. So when it's time for you to come out of hermit mode, then guess what? You're actually beneficial. Okay? When you are not taking advantage of a hermit mode and you just sitting in the house doing nothing, putting your life on pause, that ain't what you want to do. Ooh, you say you've been in hermit mode for 5 years. It's time to come out, boo. You should have done some real work by now. It's time to come out. And if you feel like getting close to people, being scared, that's something you need to work on. That's something that you need to heal. What is it that you feel like you can't trust in people or deal with people about? Because that means you can't trust yourself. You're not close to yourself. You still haven't gotten close to yourself yet. That's another part about, I think, to me, a little bit, connected to detachment. Like, I'm not attached to the outcome. Yeah, I'm not attached to, is this going to work? Is this person the right dynamic for me? Is this situation the right dynamic? I'm not attached to the outcome at all. Whatever the outcome is, that's what it is. I'm with it. Let's go. We'll learn a lesson y'all taking me on today. Okay? If I have to stay in that space. You have to be in the space where you're like, what lesson am I learning today? Let's go. How are you coming to bless my life right now? Let's go. Okay? Stop being attached to that outcome. When you attach to it, boy, you about to have some issues. Y'all be attached to people like, oh, this person gonna be with me for the rest of my life. That'd be friends and teachers and gurus and lovers. No, they not. They might just be there for that season. They might be there for right now. So you got to be in the space where you say, okay, whatever this is about to give me, I have to know and trust that my universe is in alignment with me. Right? How can I be in alignment? How can I say that I trust my ancestors and my funny ass spirit guides if I'm scared to interact with people? Because then you're saying that you don't trust them to move people out your way. Then you also saying you don't trust your intuition. So really that's a problem with you don't trust yourself. Again, going back to what you call it. No, I'm not doing. I am going to start doing readings on, because we have this new moon coming up Tuesday. So if you want to read and make sure y'all lock it in. So I think Tuesday or Wednesday I start doing new moon readings. Okay. How can you walk in your truth? Like, I can't say that, let me say this. Let's be clear. You can be a god or a goddess and still attract all walks of life. Okay? You can be a god or a goddess and attract all walks of life. You have to trust your intuition and your ability to discern. That's why I said I don't play around when, if I don't like you, I don't like you. There's something about you that my spirit don't mesh well with. Something is wrong with you. And my spirit guide said no. They don't like you. So that's where you got to be in that space where you say, my spirit guides is telling me that you ain't the right one. So if you really truly trust your guides, your ancestors, the people that the energies that support you in this journey, then you know no weapons formed against you shall prosper. It's that simple. All right. So right now they're starting to count me down. I will come back maybe later, depending on how I feel. I'm about to lay down. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please trust y'all, guys. Please trust y'all energies to help you do the right thing. All right.